everyone. Welcome to episode 31. Today, I'll be giving out my monthly report card to the Mets, and we'll be interviewing Luis Rojas. Let's banter. All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Big Apple Baseball Banter. Today is episode 31. Probably can hear me there. I realized my mic wasn't loud enough, but oh well. Let me know if you guys can hear me well in the chat. So we got quite a good show today. I'll be giving out my monthly report card to the Mets. I'll be talking about the overall state of the team, and we're actually going to be interviewing Luis Rojas. I'm going to wait for more people to get in here until we get into our interview, just because I want some viewer questions. But Maniac Matt, what's going on, man? Good to see you guys here. So I'm going to start with, I've tried to do series recaps and stuff, and honestly, that's not really my thing. I'm not too good at them, especially, doing the show only once a week. It's kind of tough to, recap something that happened a week ago when, there's so many games played. So I'm just going to be talking about the overall state of the Mets. Humma, what's going on, man? I'm going to be talking about the overall state of the Mets. So let's get into it. Right now, the Mets are starting to kind of get hit by the injury bug. DeGrom got, his start didn't happen last night, obviously for rain reasons, stuff like that. But also, it sucked because he's injured. I hope he can play. Hopefully by this weekend he can start. I really believe like you only really go as far as your ace can take you, and that's not necessarily true because it is a team sport. But if your ace is playing bad or it's hurt, your team's not going to be very good. So big loss there. I think it's going to be fine though. And we have a couple other injuries to deal with. JD Davis on the IL. Luis Guillorme is also on the IL. So looks like Peraza and VR are going to be kind of filling those roles. Peraza is the bench guy. VR is going to be getting some more starting time at third base. So that's pretty unfortunate, but still pretty good. Also, the Mets, they're not playing great right now, and the offense is the big reason why. Although last game was mainly on the pitching, I think the management could use some work. Now, luckily, Luis isn't quite here yet, so he hasn't heard me say anything. But the main topic is Mets fired Chili Davis and Tom Slater, which is pretty crazy, but I think it's a move that kind of needed to happen. This team has not hit all year. Francisco Lindor has just been horrendous recently. Nimmo and JD are the only guys really hitting. Alonso here and there. Dom's fallen off big time. So right now, man, it's not looking great. And I think this move needed to be made. The team's going a little more analytical. Steve Cohen's talked about that. Obviously, Zach Scott being our acting GM, I'm thinking he might take over full time. He's a more analytical guy as well. So I think it's time we go in that direction. Yes, the players are mad about this, but it's also they need to perform, and the coaching staff was not getting the most out of them. So it was time to move on. Now there's another guy on the staff I hope gets moved on from in the future. Now, I can't mention who just because, we are talking with Luis today. But pretty crazy news. Chili Davis has been here for a while. He's been kind of hot and cold. He's gone, the offense has been good, but it's extremely underperformed today. So let's get right into it. Let's get into our interview with Luis Rojas. And before that, let me get to the chat. Consumer Cellular, what's going on, man? I hope Nimmo can come back in the second game tonight. I hope so too, man. He's a big addition to this team. All right, so we're actually going to be talking with Luis Rojas now. And also, if you guys want to type in the chat any questions for our awesome manager, Luis, he'll be very happy to answer them. So, Luis, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's going on, Luis? How you doing, man?
Oh, I am doing quite excellent today. How are you doing, loyal Mets fan?
I'm doing good. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. My dog's in the background. Yeah, she just dropped the dump. Like I was laughing at that. Don't worry, man. So here we go. So I got a couple questions for you. Since the show only happens once a week, we kind of got some stuff from the past we need to cover. So first thing I want to talk about is, Dom and Alvarado, they kind of had their history this year. Where were you when the whole brawl happened? We didn't quite see you on the camera. Now the camera's not everything. Where were you then?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, let's see. Well, it was definitely a very unfortunate brawl. I definitely was out there. I was in my sweater. It was very chilly out, Philly weather,
Yep.
Philadelphia doesn't have many nice girls, but, they have nice cheesesteaks and weather. But like I said, it was very cold out. It was very chilly out. So I had to put my sweater on, my grandmother knitted it for me the night
Oh,
prior.
awesome.
So I was able to wear that luckily. But I
Yep.
was out there. I was out there, I was about to go out there and then Pete stopped me. And with
Oh,
Lindor, and they're like, yo, Skip, you wanted to talk to the umpires for you. And I was like, players manager's great. So I let him. And then I was looking in the dugout, trying to keep peace with the fans. There were two fans arguing in the stands. So I was just making sure, monitoring it.
that's awesome to hear, man. I'm glad you were, kind of getting involved and whatnot. All right. So my
Yeah,
second question for you, so in that Philly series, the whole umpire thing happened with McCutchen getting called out on the base path. That's obviously not a reviewable call. If that were to happen to your team, what would you do? Would you kind of get in the umpire's face, or would you kind of just say, "Hey, let the umpires be, like they messed up, but we all make mistakes." I mean, look at the Mets so far; we've made quite a bit of mistakes. I think it's safe to assume you've made a few mistakes here and there with your
I have
managing
made
decisions.
no mistakes. Well, I think the
Well,
thing with that was Andrew McCutchen was definitely out of the baseline. We see that Joe Girardi is not a good manager. In my managerial history of over 2 years, which is so much that any umpire could like for a manager. But overall, I think what we saw was a manager being an asshole. Girardi got in his face.
oh, okay.
It was his daughter's graduation, and he ruined his daughter's graduation. But luckily, he was not ejected nor suspended. I mean, you should not be ejected or suspended. I was hoping to go my whole career without getting an ejection. I sadly got that. I learned
Yeah.
from my big mistake.
Yeah, there are a couple kids out there who got pretty fired up about it, like this bunch of Mets people, like on I think it's called like Mets fans only or something. The live stream, they got really excited about it, which is it's weird because you usually want your manager to stay the whole game to make his awesome decisions. But I'm gonna get to
but I think I definitely riled my team up. I
yep.
think in terms of, if that was me, I would go out there. I'd put on my 5 masks.
Yeah, COVID safety,
I
it's
put on
important,
my
man, for
5
sure.
masks. I'd walk out there with my hands crossed like an 80-year-old grandfather, and I'd politely talk with him. And then I'd buy him a cup of coffee afterwards the game. And, we'd talk and we'd say, hey, listen, let's say the player was McNeil. McNeil's a good base stealer, or someone like Nimmo, both great base stealers. I mean, not as good as James McCann. I think James McCann is probably the best base stealer on our team, who will likely most have the success. But let's say James McCann went out of the base pass. And let's say he just touched the green grass. I would have went out there nice and calmly.
Cool, man. All right, next question. So with Edwin Diaz, he kind of got lucky. He didn't blow the game. Luckily, the call went our way. So did he let you know he was feeling back tightness, or did he kind of just, Edwin Diaz, your closer?
Oh, of course. Oh, he's the closer. Oh, I thought he was a long reliever, or even a starter. Well, I've been having talks with Diaz. He did express it to me, and I kind of stood there. I stood there, and he told me it. He said he wanted to go on the field. I trust my bullpen pitchers. Freely is the best one we got, but Diaz is probably maybe the third or fourth best. He told me he was ready to go out there. He said I recommended he shouldn't. He said I got it. I'm not gonna argue with him. He knows more about baseball than me, probably, more than a manager, of course. So I let him go out there. Obviously, he threw that 1, 2, 3, 4 straight walk to, I believe it was whoever that Phillies fuckface was. I think it was
Oh,
Jason
okay.
or someone like that. But he threw that 1, 2, 3, 4, which is definitely not unusual for Diaz. Definitely, he always loses his command, just like Familia. But overall, he went out there and then he gave up that double, and then he gave up a ton of hits. I trusted him. I mean, the big concern was that we used him 3 days, 4 days in a row. But personally, my module is you go a week and then you get a week off. But the thing is, we did have Trevor May, but then Trevor May would have been out for 2 days. Although we definitely could have went to someone like Zamora or Reed Foley. But the thing is, the thing is with Trevor May is that Trevor May never really has been more than an inning. So I am not allowed to do that.
Well, that's quite some nuanced bullpen managing,
Oh
Luis.
yeah,
I'm
for
glad you
sure.
shared that with us. All right. So, game yesterday, why did it take so long to take Lucchese out? Do you kind of just trust him? You thought you could get out of it? Or, did you want to save your bullpen? Can you kind of go on that?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, listen, the bullpen's very, very important. We look. There's a lot of people. A lot of managers, not myself though. Like a lot of managers, Bob Melvin, Kevin Cash, Joe Girardi, Aaron Boone. They treat their bullpen. They treat their pitchers like chess pieces.
Hmm.
And I don't do that. I leave pitchers in for last year everyone said I left them in too long. I do not believe that was true. I left them in too short last year, so I have to make up for that and leave them in extra long. So I definitely thought 4 innings was enough. Everyone was saying I should have took him out once Arenado got that 3-run home run to tie it up, but I said fuck diggity dog no, and I figured I'd leave him in. We didn't really have too many options. There was plans on putting in Castro, but Miguel Castro, I told him he has to be polite and make his hat more straightward because of my
Oh,
OCD and all that stuff.
is he wearing the right hat? I know he didn't do
Uh,
that
that,
once.
that was my hat actually. I uh,
Oh,
I
okay.
I told him we were wearing the white hats. But yes, that was the issue with Lucchese personally. Like I said, pitchers they have to stay longer. That's my module. Starting pitchers goes 5 innings, and then we use the bullpen. But the bullpen pitcher has to have at least 2 to 3 days of experience prior to pitch. Because if we use guys like Reed Foley and Zamora who haven't really pitched 2 games prior, they will be dumb.
All right, Luis, we actually got our first viewer question from Humma Humma. I think
Oh
that's his name.
yeah, for sure, for
He
sure.
asked, "Why are you so stupid?" I don't agree with this, but it's his
Oh,
question. Can you kind of elaborate on this?
hmm. I am not super sure. Um, hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Next
You asked
question. Oh,
me.
all right. So my next question. So what the hell is going on with Lindor? I think he's the best shortstop in baseball, and he's not really playing like it. He's kind of playing like one of the worst shortstops in baseball. What's going on with that? And could firing of your staff, could that kind of help get him back to where he was before? What's going on with that?
He needs some milk.
Oh, he needs milk. Okay, thank you. Um, so I can kind of ask the question again. What's your reaction to firings of Chili and Slate? Like, what's your reaction to that?
Oh well, Chili, and Tom Seaver. No, I mean Slater,
Later. Yep.
Seaver, whatever the fuck their name is. Big Mac Chili and Tom Seaver Slater. Well, listen, they're very analytically inclined. They are very old school. Chili Davis is like 160 years old.
Yeah, he's an old dude, man.
Maybe the last two numbers. But Chili Davis, actually, I think he's 60 years old. I think we had a birthday party for him last year, and I brought him some nice cake. But I think if we look at this, they're analytically inclined, as stated. And we live in a day and age where analytics take over. A lot of our guys, including myself, I played in the major league. I almost made it to the major leagues, but
You had family in the major leagues, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna make it, but I missed the bus that day. I was a little late
Oh,
to
okay.
make it, but everyone's saying I would have been, the next Barry Bonds, uh, Honus Wagner, any of that stuff. But the thing with Chili Davis is that a lot of our players didn't like him. Pete Alonso cried because that's how much he didn't like him.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of our guys were not hitting. Lindor was not hitting, and I said at the beginning of the year, Chili Davis, if Lindor doesn't hit because of you, screw everyone else. You will be fired. But I think if we look at Chili Davis and Tom Seaver, Slater Seaver, I think we look at that. Like I said, they were analytically inclined. We live in a day and age of analytics, and screw the human eye. We know that guys like Pete Alonso, who are not fond of Taco Bell.
The analytics, right?
Sorry about that. I was coughing. I was a little ill. I have the virus corona.
Oh, wow. Well, so wait, did you get tested yet for it, or is it
Oh
like a false
yes. Well,
positive, or?
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. I think he's
Oh,
making
we're getting political here, Luis.
Citi
Okay.
Field and Yankee Stadium, the trash can place. I think they're giving vaccines during the game, which is very excellent in my opinion. But back to Tom Sleever, Slater, Chili, Davis, Big Mac. I think, like I said, they were analytically inclined. And even guys like Pete Alonso said that, they prefer, Pete Alonso said today in a press conference, I was watching it when I was hitting the gym before. He said that while he steps up to bat, he may as well bring a computer to see. So that shows how much he hates analytics. So Pete Alonso maybe next. We're going to have to see. Just kidding. I love Pete Alonso. He's my dad. He'll be here to the end.
Oh,
But overall, it's very unfortunate. Everyone's saying I'm next to go. I have to say, well, two things to you people. Fuck you.
okay, well, we're gonna get more to that in a little bit, but
No, for sure.
I got a question here. This might be more for Zach when I can get Zach or Sandy on, but it's when will you trade DeGrom, or do you have plans to trade DeGrom?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Well, I think we look at Jacob DeGrom to go. He doesn't give his guy. He's a shitty pitcher. He goes out there, but then he makes our bats bad. So I wouldn't be opposed to trading him. I have been talking with the Mariners. I know they expressed interest. I know we traded two great prospects and we got a great deal with them 2 years ago. So who knows? Maybe we can get a guy like Yusei Kikuchi. I think he's much better than DeGrom. We can get him. If we want to get Justin Dunn back, that could also work. But Jared Kelenic, I mean, he could pitch, and everyone's saying he's the number one prospect. Even Jacob DeGrom, he was like a 6th or 7th round prospect, so he must be horseshit. But in terms of trading DeGrom, we did extend him 2 years ago. We had the extension, and it was not very difficult. It was like the Lindor. It was 10 times worse than Lindor and Conforto, and I know there were memes of him getting traded to the New York Yankees. But in terms of trading DeGrom, we are in the midst of it. We would like to go try to get a guy like Yusei Kikuchi back, or maybe go to the Texas Rangers. Maybe a guy like Dane Dunning would be nice.
Oh wow, okay. Well, that's quite the story. I'm glad you kind of broke the news here on Big Apple Baseball Banter. But next question: can you discuss some of the recent injuries? JD, Guillorme, Nimmo, DeGrom. Can you kind of give us an update on all the guys?
Well, I tell them they have to take fucking better care of themselves because they sit around and they don't fucking work out like me. You see me in the dugout. But in terms of these injuries, it's very unfortunate. We saw that. We saw that Luis Guillorme, who is the only left-handed batter on the bench besides Jonathan Villar. Very unfortunate what happened to him. He's on the 10-day IL. Brandon Nimmo, who knows, we're probably just going to fuck him in the ass some more, throw him out on the field, not fully put him on the 10-day IL, which would probably be the best interest for him. In terms of JD Davis, his defense is pretty shit. I think we may go trade him probably for a guy like Freddie Galvis or something like that. Freddie Galvis is much better than him all around. But in terms of these injuries, it's very unfortunate. Last year, we had so many pitching injuries, and I think it happened to switch around. 2019, we didn't really have much injuries, but I tell these guys they don't take care of themselves. They have to eat more McDonald's and fast food and takeout, and they don't do push-ups in the dugout. They're very active, so they have to take a chill break.
Awesome. All right, so I got another question for you. Can you discuss the lineup tonight? And we know this kind of also goes off of one of Humma's questions is why is Pilar batting cleanup tonight? And also another question I have, can you kind of include all this? You mentioned Pilar having, getting unlucky, you had some metrics that back that up. Can you kind of discuss that? Why is he batting cleanup? Can you go over the lineup tonight?
Well, Kevin Pilar has been batting 300 these last couple games, and he was ranked on MLB Fantasies to pick up. So I figured to myself, everyone else must like him, so maybe I'll put him cleanup. We know that I did one good thing. A lot of people heard pretty much. I do what the fans tell me to. Steve Cohen, does that, so I figured maybe it'd work for managing. So I figured that maybe we would, Pete Alonso batting second. Everyone on Twitter said he has high stats, WRC plus, batting average, on base percentage, career wise, batting second. So I figured maybe he could do something. We know Francisco Lindor has been pretty excellent batting leadoff. He's been getting a ton of hits for us. Definitely worth $341 million for sure. But in terms of the lineup, I think it's great. Everyone wanted me to include Albert Almora Jr. Everyone was saying, "Oh, we should just send him down if you're not going to use him, Luis." So I said, "Fine, fuck you, assholes. I will include him." So I did include him, but I did put him batting eighth. But in terms of the 1, 2, 3, 4, I was going to put McNeil batting fourth, but I said no. Pushing players down, taking them out of the lineup usually helps them get out of their slump, and he's still in a slump. These last couple games he's been batting over 300, so. That's definitely a slump to me. If you ask me, I'd be hitting 700, 800 right on the dot. But in terms of this lineup, I think it's excellent. I think the production we're going to see out of this lineup is going to be very excellent. I wanted to put my power hitters, leading off kind of. But in terms of the lineup and stuff, I think it's excellent. I think we have a great bench. I'm in favor of maybe making like a 2-man bench for 4 more pitchers. I think that'd be excellent. We do have Jonathan VR, but we had to go through that lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty or righty, righty, righty shenanigans tonight. I'm obsessed with that. I say that before I go to bed. Today I write with my left hand. Tomorrow I'll write with my left hand. The lineup.
Oh wow! Maybe you guys should acquire Pat Venditti. You guys are all about lefty righty. He can pitch with both arms. Maybe I'll talk to Scott about that. But I got a few more viewer questions before I get to the next question. Though I want to talk to the viewers, guys. Please like this stream, and you guys also the pinned link. You guys can call in after Luis Rojas. We're gonna be having callers on the line, be talking baseball. So hope to see you guys there. So I got a question, another question. I got a question from Andrew Acevedo. He's actually a really awesome Mets YouTuber as well. He said, "What's your favorite part about managing this team?" Lol. I don't know what the lol part means, but what's your favorite part of managing this team?
Oh, well, my favorite part of managing this team is that I get to be with this awesome team. We know Steve Cohen is a great owner and he has a lot of dough, and I'm hoping he could transition some of that to me. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be owning the Mets someday. But I think we look at our team, we have a ton of success. I trust my bullpen. I trust my players. They stand up for themselves. I don't even have to go out there. And they just come out into the dugout so frustrated. We saw Milk. We saw Jeff McNeil. I think it was last September with the hit by pitch, and there's a strikeout, even though it hit him according to the review play. I didn't do shit. I figured let Jeff McNeil manage.
Well, you were doing push-ups, right? In the dugout, just trying to hit a lift.
Injecting some steroids into my ass, but
with Cano.
I think the best part of this team is that the players manage themselves, and they definitely make my job much easier.
All right. You mentioned Freddie Galvis. Another question from Humma. He's asking some good questions. How would you think about Francisco Alvarez, who had a stud game yesterday? You're for Freddie Galvis. Would you do that?
I'd probably do maybe a guy like Richard Blyer in return for Francisco Lindor.
Francisco Alvarez.
Oh, Francisco. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Francisco Alvarez for Richard Blyer.
Maybe package both of them, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, we could package both of them. We could put Alvarez and Lindor for Milk for Freddie Galvis, and Cedric Mullins has been pretty hot, but screw him. He's not batting over. He's batting just 300. So we'll probably include. I know Jesse Winker got a walk-off today, so he must be the best player in baseball today. Hopefully he still will be for the rest of the season. So, Jesse Winker, he's too good for us. He's too shit, actually. Maybe if we want to get a guy like Joey Votto, that's his 300th home run, so maybe he'll hit 300 more with the Mets.
Wow, okay. Another question from Seahawks Jose Rodriguez. Why can't you be more like your dad, Felipe Alou? Because that a lot of people don't know that's actually your father. Why can't you be more like him?
Oh.
And also, Humma wants to thank you for answering this question.
Oh.
And this is the best moment of his life.
Well, I think Felipe, he's kind of an old fuck. He's like 90 years old. He definitely does not. Felipe, he played in the minor leagues with the Expos or whatever the fuck they're called now. I can give a damn. But he played. He had some minor league experience. He did take he signed $200 with the New York Giants. But overall, he had a great career. In his last year itself, I think he had 3 at-bats. So yeah, I definitely think I could be like him. I think I am better than Felipe Alu. We're both Dominican born. But like I said, he's a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. I think I will be the World Baseball Hall of Fame. He won a Manager of the Year back in the 90s. So potentially maybe I could do something like that. But fuck you.
All right, another question from Andrew. What's your favorite pre-workout?
Milk.
Milk. Okay. All right. So actually, I'm gonna have my final question. My question. Viewers are still welcome to
Jumping
submit some
jack.
questions. So a lot of fans, especially this Hayden kid online, want you fired. He actually made a rant
Oh.
video about you and Dom Smith. Do you care to watch
Can I
it?
hear it? I need to
Yeah,
hear
yeah. Here, let's watch it.
Fuck you, Smith, you fucking cocksucker. Oh shit. Oh! Yeah, fuck him up, Tom! Go fuck him up, let's go! Oh, where's Rojas? Oh no, where's Rojas? Where's Rojas? Oh, fucking pussy. Yeah, then bring it back to Venezuela.
All right. Yeah. So, did you get a chance to watch that just now?
He needs some milk.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Well, what are your thoughts on Hayden? Hayden, he's kind of a hothead when it. Hold on, excuse me. He's kind of a hothead when it comes to the Mets game. He really wants you fired every game. Whenever something bad happens, he pretends to get on the phone with Steve Cohen. So what are your? What can you send a message to Hayden?
Well, Hayden, first of all, I would like to say you were much better than me at everything.
Oh wow, you must be a big fan. Are you subscribed?
I am subscribed. I am not subscribed. I only subscribe to McBurgertown and Family Guy. But
all right, how's your hold up, hey, Luis, considering you're a fan of Hayden, how's your your chair riding game? Like he's known for riding chairs, like in his videos, like he rides his chair out of the shot. What about that? No comment. Okay, thank you. So Luis, I'm actually gonna bring on like face to face with you, one of your biggest fans. His name's like Raiders fan or something. Here, let him talk to you. Mets fan.
Mets
right?
fan. Man.
Yeah.
All right.
Any question for Luis?
All right. First of all, Luis, I'd love to congratulate you on getting this job last year. I am beyond surprised on how amazing you have done at this job. How historically incredible you'd love to fuck up lineups, and and also with this amazing stacked and deep roster, which we haven't had in a while. I guess my general question is: do you think you are good at your job, or do you think you're good at your job? There's my question.
Well, listen. I mean, everyone deserves a chance. I think we looked at 2020. It was a great year overall. But we only had 60 games of baseball. I'm not really sure why though, because I was in the gym a lot. So they just told me to come in those certain days. But I think we looked at it and everyone was struggling that year. Even I was too. I was. I had too much dick up my ass. But I think when we look at that year, it was tough for everyone. A lot of our guys, Pete Alonso had a shit year. A lot of guys did shit. Aaron Judge was he played the whole season for the first time in a while. Pete Alonso had a great year, and then he did shit the last game. A lot of guys struggled. A lot of guys struggled. It was a terrible year. The starts and stops really killed us. It was practically add 20 more games for the rest of the month now, and that would be the season pretty much. We saw the Marlins, teams like the Marlins, they were able to make the playoffs and not the Mets, which I think is fucking bullshit. But, Don Mattingly, he's quite the manager out there. And I will say I prefer him as a first baseman and his defensive skills rather than his managerial status. But, that's another topic. But in terms of the question that the Yankees fan asked me, or whatever the fuck team I am part of, I think it's very difficult to say. Everyone has to say take it with a grain of salt. 60 games, how could you judge a manager? We saw that I had such limited time to get into the swivel of things. Carlos Beltran was the manager, and he was probably one of the best Mets managers they've ever had in the history, more than Valentine and But I think it's very tough to decide. What it is to be like a manager and be in their shoes and be given the situation of only having a month. And a lot of guys, and I came into the situation. We heard Syndergaard had to get Tommy John, and Stroman had some injuries during the early bouts before the season. It was very difficult for me to handle. But I go in the gym at night, I do 20 push-ups and a 30-second plank, and that was it for me. I could barely do that. But then I ate my protein shakes, I ate some raw lettuce, some cock meat sandwiches that everyone likes to eat. But yeah, otherwise it worked, and I appreciate it.
Mets fan, any other questions? Oh, actually, I'm gonna have to let you go because we got some more viewer questions. But Mets fan, appreciate you talking with our awesome manager.
All right.
We got a question from Andrew again. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, there's bread around it, so I would say yes.
Luis, a pleasure as always. I want to thank you for joining us. You got a game to go manage.
I am on this stream to the end, old sport.
Oh, well, you can't have all day. We got some other callers on the line. I want to get into some more topics, but you're welcome to still watch for sure. You're welcome to use the chat. You can still talk with our viewers. They all are very big fan of you.
Tonight, I will see you all later tonight on the press conference, and
yeah, go have a good game, man. Thank you for doing this. Have a good night, man. Wow, Luis Rojas, man. Round of applause for Luis. I want to thank Luis for calling in, taking time for an interview out of his busy day of working out and managing baseball, making lineups. He switches the lineup every day, so it's important for him to, it takes a lot of time. But I'm going to bring on one of our loyal viewers. Jose, what's going on, man?
God damn it, man. You had me almost choking.
What do you mean? I mean, Luis Rojas is very entertaining.
We don't know where you got this idea from.
Oh, I don't know where I got this idea from, man. Now, I mean, I like watching interviews, and maybe MLB Network.
Okay.
They interview managers. That's where I got the idea from.
Okay, I have an idea. Since you're interviewing managers, next week you're gonna interview Joe Madden.
Okay.
Because he's doing a shittier job than Luis.
Wow, that's quite a hot take. Why don't you have Joe Madden interview on your channel? This is a Mets channel after all.
How would I do that?
I don't know. Like I have contact for Joe Madden. I can get him on your show.
I would need you to start the thing.
I know Joe Madden. I can get some contact for him. But putting that aside, Jose, how your Angels been? I've seen you on your Twitter game. You've been ranting about the Angels a lot.
I hate you. I hate you just for that. I hate you just for asking. I hate you.
Thanks, Jose. So I actually got a question for you. So
go ahead.
You're in the same division as the Houston Astros. How do you feel about the beating the Yankees fans put on them yesterday? What are your thoughts on that?
I love it.
Now, what was better, that or the Angels fans throwing the trash cans on the field?
Throwing the trash can.
Yeah, they were both great.
That was original.
Yeah, it was. But screaming FL Tuve, like as loud as they did in a limited capacity, was phenomenal.
We did that too.
That's true.
Everyone's doing that. But yeah, I don't know why why Mets fans are complaining. At least you guys have a fucking winning record.
No, we don't. We're below 500 right now. And our best pitcher just got hurt.
Wait, what's your record?
I think we're one game under 500.
Oh, cry me a river.
Dude, we actually have like a good team though. Like we should be better. Like you guys are playing with the fourth place roster you have.
Year we had what? Last night we had more airs than fucking hits.
I saw that tweet.
A little team Could have done better. What the fuck?
Well, the ball doesn't always get put in play in Little League. You know, there's a lot of walks that happen in Little League. At least when I played Little
shut
League.
up. Oh. Would you let me rant?
Yeah, go for it. I'll
Please
sit right back.
just let me rant. Albert Pujols needs to retire.
I think this is last year of his deal, though.
Joe Madden needs to go live in his trailer and never come out ever again. Our shitty general manager needs to go back to Atlanta. And Jose Quintana can just go behead himself.
Oh
For
my
all I
God,
care.
that's your fellow Jose, man. You can't be talking to him like
I
that.
don't. Does it look like I care?
Nope, you're being reckless right now, man. And
Yes.
that was a great rant, man. Jose, as always, thank you for calling in,
Hold
man.
on.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I'm being reckless.
Oh yeah.
You just
can
said-
continue. You got another minute for sure.
You just had Luis Rojas talking about sticking stuff up his ass.
Well,
But
you know, we give, you know, he's the professional, he's the
But
manager.
I-
We give him the time he deserves.
But I'm being reckless. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm out.
Jose, thanks for
can't
calling in,
do
man.
it.
You have a good day. You
Yeah.
have a good day, man.
You too.
Fire stuff from Jose as always. We're actually going to get another caller on. I don't think he's in his chair right now, so we'll wait for him a little bit. Let's get in this chat real quick. We got a lot of spam. But is a hot dog a sandwich? Andrew asked, and we got a lot of no's in the chat. You know, Humma Humma says that the interview was incredible. Hayden says the interview was incredible. So thank you guys for enjoying the interview. Our caller's currently, you know, I can see the camera, so he's currently not in his shot right now. So I'll wait for him. I don't want to embarrass him on here. So I'm going to get into the Mets report card. Now, you know me, I'm in high school. You know, we get report cards. My last report card could have gone a lot better than it actually went, especially in math. Jesus. So we're going to do our April report card. Now, the April report card has nothing to do with what they've done this month. It's all about what they did in April. So we're going to split it up to the starting lineup, the rotation, the bullpen, and the bench, and I'll have some stats to back it up and all that. So let's start with the starting lineup. James McCann, F. James McCann's been doo-doo. He's been terrible, man. Can't hit. His defense has been just below average. It's been bad. If you guys know Mets fan, he called in earlier. Follow his Twitter. He's always shitting on McCann. McCann's been bad. He's been like really bad. I don't even need to pull up his numbers. That's how bad he's been. Pete Alonso, I'm going to give him a B. He's been hot. He's been cold. You know, he's hitting for power, which is good. He had an okay April. It could have been better. You know, he was pretty hot and cold. And for some of these guys, I'll have some numbers to back it up. More guys, you know, don't need him as much. Jeff McNeil, he gets a D. Jeff McNeil was not good. Now his defense was good. Now his better defense came last night. His defense last night was awesome, but that's obviously in May. But man, 235, 704, 709 OPS, and James McFraud. I mean, that's a good name you can have for McCann. He's not been good. You know, I think the best thing Jeff McNeil has done so far is get a haircut, which, you know, that's props to him. But he's not been good. He's hit 2 home runs, but I kind of miss the old Jeff of, you know, just getting those hits, taking the ball the other way. I want to see Jeff do that more. So I'm giving him a D. He needs to play better, especially for, you know, more of a contact hitter like that. You got to get that batting average up. Francisco Lindor, he gets a D as well. Now, has Lindor been a worse hitter than McNeil? Obviously, but his defense has been so good. That's why he doesn't get an F. With the bat, he gets an F-. He's just been a disaster. And, you know, I don't want to bring contract too much into this. And Louis, you said it best. I like the McNeil that just slaps the ball over the field. Yeah. And Lindor, I'm not giving him an F just because of his defense has been so good this year. So next guy, JD Davis. He hasn't played much due to injury, but his hitting has been so good. I'm going to give him a B+. Now his defense brings him down from an A because the Chicago series is a disaster from him at third, and it's a small sample size. So B+ for JD Davis. Dom Smith, F. He's been terrible, man. I mean, he's been as bad of a hitter as Lindor. He started out good, and defensively, he's useless. He hasn't made any drastic errors out there, but his arm is terrible. You know, it's not his fault. He's not a left fielder. The NL should have a DH, and he should be playing that. Fortunately, he has to be playing left field. Also, just because I'm giving these guys bad grades does not mean they're bad players. I think they're going to play better. Brendan Nimmo, he gets an A. One hitter who has just been phenomenal. Beginning of the season, you could not get this guy out. He was phenomenal. And his defense has been pretty okay. It's not anything bad like we expected him when he's playing center field. Michael Conforto, D as well, just not having a good year. Jacob deGrom, A+++++++. Jacob deGrom's he's not human. It's unfair. And he's hitting. He's freaking hitting this year. Jacob deGrom has what? I think it's like 0.71 ERA or even lower. Yeah, 0.51 ERA. And that's just because he gave up 1 run. He's given up, I think the max amount of runs has been like 2 or 3. That's just, how does this guy do it? Jacob deGrom isn't human. He's been phenomenal. Marcus Stroman, he gets an A. Not quite an A+ because he's not the strikeout guy, but he's been phenomenal. Had a couple, had one rough start in there. Got pulled out a bit early due to injury last time. So, yeah, good stuff from Stroman, really exceeding my expectations. So, shout out to Marcus Stroman. Taijuan Walker, B. His control's been a little effy, but as a 3-starter, he's playing really well. David Peterson, he gets a C. I'm actually going to bump him up to a B because he had a couple cold starts, but he's also had some really good starts, and he's striking more guys out. So I'm going to put David Peterson to a B. Joey Lucchesi, he gets a D. Now, part of it is it's not entirely his fault. There are injuries. He shouldn't be in the rotation. I don't think there's a question with that, but he's not pitched well at all. Moving on to the bullpen. Edwin Diaz, A+. He's been phenomenal. Now, I know he had the rough, outing, but that was in May, like I think it was. But he's just been so good so far. So A+. Miguel Castro, A+. He's been even better. He's been so good, man. I know, like that last Phillies game, that if you guys saw the Mets fans react video, that was part of that. Excuse me. He's been phenomenal. You guys know Mets fan, he's super high on him. He's just nasty, man. He's got the swag. Whenever Miguel Castro comes in the game, sideways hat goes on. You already know it. Miguel Castro has been awesome. Trevor May, he gets a B. He's been really good recently, but he had a couple rough outings at the beginning of the year. He was really bad to start the year, especially in that first game. So he's been okay. Aaron Loop, B+. He's getting the job done. He's not only getting lefties out, which was nice to see. He's a really solid reliever. Jacob Barnes, I'm going to give him a D. I had him an F on here, but he's been okay recently. He's had some really rough outings, though. So D for Jacob Barnes. Jerry's Familia, B+. I'd actually consider maybe giving an A. He's been that good. Jerry's Familia has been awesome. His control is not, the greatest in the world, but he's been really good, which is really good to see. Sean Reed-Foley, A+. He's been elite. Now I know he's only pitched 5 innings. He's been phenomenal. Sean Reed-Foley's the GOAT. And we got him for Steven Matz, which is even better. Robert Kesselman, B+. Now here's a surprise here. Kesselman, I don't even think he was going to make the roster. He's been really good, man. He's not really in that starter long reliever role, but he's getting good outs, man. Dellin Betances, F, injured, awful. Get him out of here. Stephen Tarpley, worst pitcher I've ever seen, F. Trevor Hildenberger, terrible, F. Moving on to the bench, we got Tomas Nido. He's coming in at a C. Now with these bench guys, you don't expect them to put up great numbers because that's what they are. They're bench guys. And his defense has been good. His hitting's been terrible. That's kind of what you expect from him. C for Nido. Albert Almora. Now this grade might shock you. I'm actually giving a B. Has he been a good hitter? No. But he's here for one reason, for defense and running on the bases. And he's done both those really well, especially that one insane catch he made in that Nationals game. So I'm giving Almora a B. Kevin Pillar, F. Now, I know he's been playing well recently. He's been playing well in May, not in April. April, he was dreadful. Terrible. Nothing good out in the outfield either. I mean, nothing special. He's all right. He's not bad, but he's not good. So Kevin Pillar, F. Jonathan VR, B. Shocker right here. I thought he was really bad to start the year. Hit that walk-off for us. He's been doing okay, stuff. He's getting more playing time than I wish just because, injuries, stuff like that. Rojas really likes him with the, lefty-righty stuff that he talked about earlier in his interview. So, yeah. And then Luis Guillorme, I'm giving him an A+, just because he's Luis Guillorme and he's the GOAT. Just kidding. I'm not giving him that quite. I'll probably give him a B. Let me check his numbers real quick because this one, I didn't look too into him. He made that tough error at the beginning of the year. He's currently injured right now, unfortunately. So let's quickly take a look at his numbers. Let me pull him up. He's played primarily third base. He can play second. He can play short, obviously. He's a utility backup guy. He's been hitting 333 and OPS of 814. So I'm not going to say A+, but I'm going to give him an B+ and A. Actually, 814 OPS for a guy who does not hit for any power just because that average really raised him. I'll give him an A. Andrew disagrees. Besides Nimmo not getting an A plus, grades are pretty much up. You know, Nimmo, he got kind of banged up towards the end of the month, and also how good Diaz and DeGrom and Castro have been. But it's safe to say getting him an A plus. He's especially to start the year. I think you're right. I might bump him up to A plus. Those are my grades though. Let's get to this chat though. We have a couple more grades from the chat. Lucchese sucks. Yeah, he does. But it's not entirely his fault. He shouldn't really be in the rotation. So yeah, that's my Mets player grades for the month of April. I'll be doing this every month. Hayden says McNeil, Conforto, Alonso are waking up. They're waking up now that the month is May, but this is for April. Don't forget. So like I said, I'll be doing this every single month. And let me guys know what you guys think. Put your grades in the chat if you guys have any. Love to see them. So another caller on the line. It almost seemed like we just had him on, but we actually didn't. You guys know him very well. Someone said you and Hayden should stream the game together. Well, we're not streaming the game together right now, but we are on the stream together. Hayden, what's going on, man?
I'll say that was a gorgeous interview. Whoever Rojas sounded great.
Yeah, Luis did a great job, man.
Yeah, Rojas looked like he knew his stuff, but I'd be dying. But yeah, I'm excited for tonight's game. Hopefully we can get that W, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's going to be tough just because the lineup that we have going out, which is weird. I kind of wanted to get you because you're kind of the ultimate guy who rants about Rojas. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this. Now, also with the Rojas interviews, I kind of want to start. Maybe I'll have him on once a month or something. Whatever. He's got a busy schedule, man. So, but this lineup, it's weird. So Stroman's going out there. He's starting. He's having a phenomenal year. But Lindor hitting leadoff is confusing. Now, I hopefully he can heat up, which is for sure. But I don't know if he's doing that in the leadoff. And what do you do if he actually hits well in the leadoff? Do you keep him there? Do you move Nimmo? Nimmo, I want him leadoff. What do you think?
I've never really. I mean, I've always wanted Nimmo leading off. Obviously, I mean, if Nimmo's not there, I guess Lindor would be the next one up. But we're not looking at prior Lindor. We're looking at questionable slump Lindor. If we're talking about Lindor when he, when he was a leadoff hitter with the Indians, then sure, I wouldn't mind him like that. But right now, no, because he's not performing well. In terms of Pete Alonso batting second, we all know how much I love Pete. I'm fine with Pete batting second, third, fourth, the latest.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So I'm down to that first one. Conforto, I'd rather Conforto clean up. I'd move Pilar down, and I'd put McNeil. I put McNeil where Conforto is, and then I'd move Conforto down. McNeil should not be batting fifth. That is stupid. We've seen he was down in the lineup early. They started moving up, and that's when he started to perform. And McNeil, he's a 300 hitter in the first, second, or third spot, not in the sixth, seventh, or eighth. Yep. And power is one thing, but I guess maybe they're trying to think of driving in those runs and towards the second inning. I don't know what the approach was for that. And then, Almora and Villar, I guess that makes sense. It's just so hard to critique this lineup because we have three bench guys on it.
Yeah, fortunately, we're not going off the greatest starter. Kim isn't, an elite starter. He's got a 3.29 ERA. He doesn't really strike many guys out. But hopefully we just need to drive in runs. I've said this all year, which takes me to my next question for you. What are your thoughts on the firing of Slater and Chili Davis?
Yeah, I think it was honestly – it came as a surprise. I didn't suspect it. It was 20 minutes the game ended, and it's like breaking news: the New York Mets and Zach Scott. And I was surprised. I know it's kind of tough because it's really ambiguous. He kind of really helped contribute to certain players' success. He really helped Alonso. He really helped Davis. He helped Conforto kind of come out of his shell more. So he really helped out those guys, but I think it comes down to, he wasn't really helping the other guys so far. It's so early, but was he really helping out McCann? Was he really helping out Lindor?
The offense has been dreadful. I think it was time to make the change. Yeah.
Listen, one guy, he can't work well for two other guys and then kind of screw everyone else. No. In terms of the future, listen, we know analytics as the gorgeous God Rojas stated before. Analytics is the day and age. So many guys rely on a silly phone or a screen rather than their visual eyes. And I guess that's really what we're getting. And like we said, that honestly, Sandy Alderson and a lot of the Mets executives, Sandy Alderson, Davis, and Slater, they were kind of not really too big on analytics. They were more old school. and I guess it was meant to be. I mean, I trust the Mets in this situation. I hope they know what they were doing. I think they do. I will say it was definitely a surprise so early in the season. I mean, we saw that crucial 2 games with Boston where we went for like 9-60, and we had 28 strikeouts. That was crucial. So I can understand, if the last month was that, but it wasn't. And then I know it kind of started, once that Donnie Diesel Stevenson came out. So was that like a nickname for something? I don't know. But then, I know the talks were happening a week before the Donnie Stevenson thing. So it's really questionable. I think it was honestly the right call at this rate. It's just in terms of who we're going to get for the long haul.
Yeah. And like for me, like they were going to go at the end of the year probably because I don't think if the Mets continue to play like this, I don't think Rojas is going to make it out of the year. And, some new guy's going to come in and bring in his own staff. But for me, if you're going to go more that analytical route, then don't do a mix of both. Don't have, old school guys and analytical guys. I'd say go the one direction. And I think Zach Scott, I believe he's still the acting GM, but, I kind of hope for him to be the future of this team. I just want to get a damn GM in here that's competent and that'll actually stay here more than 2 years. So hopefully he is the future of this team. So it's an interesting situation, but I think it was the right move to make. Like you said, this offense is underperformed, and with how good our pitching's been so far, we need to be playing better than this. We need to be winning more games. So that's just my thoughts on that.
No, it's true. It's very unfortunate, to see our offense. When our offense is hot, the defense is dead. When the defense is hot, the offense is dead. So it's really a hit or miss, but I was very surprised that, when Steve Cohen took over, he just literally didn't. I'm surprised he left people. I'm surprised he left Davis, Rojas, the bench. I'm surprised he left a couple people. Obviously, most famously, he fired Brony Van Karapwagenen. And he was kind of really like the big only guy that people were concerned about. I'm surprised he just didn't go in there and fire everyone from the start. Yep. I mean, he could have, and you thought he would have. And like you said, it's a great point. It's either you're old school or analytically driven. I understand meeting in the middle, and I guess it's good to meet in the middle. I mean, I guess it's good to have the analytics in your advantage. And then I also understand it's good to have a visual eye, but I kind of agree. It's a pick or choose. It's, are you going to look with your physical eyes and your skills and your senses, or are you just going to look at a screen and say, oh, well, McNeil bats over 500 against Arrieta, we should bat him second,
Exactly.
So it really depends. And, it's tough. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, Pete's comments today were pretty interesting. The guys are going to be upset about this, but hey, man, if you guys wanted these guys to say you guys should hit better, that's all I'm going to say.
I mean,
and once we start winning, no one's going to care about, our former coaching staff getting fired. So, I need your thoughts on this. Why the hell is Castro being put as an opener for the second start?
I was just as surprised as you were. I mean, I believe he's made 1 or 2 opening starts prior, I think with the Orioles a couple of years ago. I was surprised too. I mean, the concern is that, we had that Lucchesi game and that used up so much of our bullpen, and then the game prior with Philly. So, Rojas, he's like Callaway. He's not smart with the bullpen, and then he uses them all up, and then he sends guys down. With Reed Foley, I guess that makes sense why you'd send him down. I mean, you can always call him up, and
I don't get it at all.
He wasn't pitching for the next 2 days, so I guess that makes sense. But in terms of starting Castro, I think it's kind of silly. I mean, I guess you could have started a guy like Gazelman who has made opening experiences. I mean, Gazelman's like a minor league guy tops, but I mean, in terms of the situation, I can understand why they would start Castro.
Well, why not just start Yamamoto? Like, I know he was terrible last year, but he's started games in this league.
My assumption is that Castro's going to go 2 innings, 3 innings tops.
No, Castro's going 1, and then Yamamoto's going to be the bulk guy.
That's what I was going to say. They'd put him in for the first 2, I was assuming, and then they'd throw in Yamamoto as a long mid reliever. I mean, we're going to use up at least 5-6 bullpen guys today. It's not even going to be.
Yeah, we got 2 games to play. We got 14 innings. So.
But then I mean, Reed Foley they called back up, so it's likely Yamamoto. Well, Castro, Yamamoto, and Reed Foley. But then you're going to have more guys. I mean, I doubt that
May's available, Loop's available. It'll be interesting. This is going to be a tough game for Ross to manage. So hopefully he doesn't screw it up too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough with the bullpen now because we have so many guys. Diaz, I mean, you're not going to put in Diaz. I mean, being aside, playing him a lot, if he has back tightness, it's probably not the best thing.
Yep.
I mean, Familia, I guess, could make sense. Has Betances ever even made an appearance in the last
He
like
made
3
one.
weeks?
He made one and then got hurt, and then he got transferred to the 60-day. And I don't think he's going to play anymore. He's either going to get cut or he's going to
DFA.
retire. I don't know. DFA. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
listen, Shane Green's down here in sunny Florida. If you want to give him a call, listen, I may know people are saying he's old and crusty, but I mean, as much, like I said, I'm in favor of a 4-man bench and an extra man in the bullpen.
I'm too.
I'm in favor of that, and I really think this offseason, we didn't really pay attention to the bullpen a whole lot.
Yeah, we got May, we got Luke, we got.
But I mean, for knowing the struggles and knowing how much, managers take out their pitcher so much earlier, so they rely on the bullpen more. And I mean, knowing, and then once Luo kind of came out, that's 3 innings, 2 innings in a game out. So I think it was definitely unfortunate that we didn't so much pay attention. And there were so many guys that were available. Colomé, Hendricks. I mean, Hendricks
so many guys. Yep.
Today, but so many bullpen guys. And
I really wanted him. Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, hopefully Stroman can go either the whole game or 6 innings. We'll see how that goes. We need him to have a good start so we can predominantly, you don't know what you're getting out of Yamamoto. Like, as much as we want to see him perform, he had a 19 ERA. Like, he was dreadful last year. He's been okay in the past though, so it's gonna be interesting. Hey, man, like always, appreciate you calling in, man. Did you enjoy the Luis Rojas interview?
I did. Honestly, I thought Luis sounded pretty great. I mean, I liked how he kept like stuttering and making those weird growling noises.
Yeah, he needs some milk. That was weird, man.
He did need some milk. I think he said he was eating. I know he gave us his
McDonald's. He's talking about like getting some gains in the gym. So yeah, good stuff.
He's doing jumping jacks, which I think would do the opposite to probably burn your muscle. But whatever, that's fine. Yeah, Luis, I think you should have him on. Maybe you could have
maybe like the first episode every month, something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, like that. I don't want to do it overkill. I don't want to have him on every week, but
right. You could have I say Jay Reporter, but you may get canceled for that.
No, maybe Sandy or Zach Scott.
Sandy Alderson. If you want to have Jeff Wilpon,
we can have Steve going on. I'll see if I can get contact with him. Maybe NYM News. I definitely consider having him on.
Oh, you all? Oh, God.
Yeah. So, Hayden, you know what to do, man. See you later, man. Bam. Good stuff from Hayden, as always. So, unless anyone else wants to call in, I'm going to wrap up the show here. We got a game coming in. Very questionable lineup. The game's about to start, though. So, I'm going to end the show here. Guys, that was a fun episode. We got a lot more viewers than usual in here. Please like, comment, subscribe, share all the videos, all that. The last video, the Mets fans reacted really well. I'm definitely going to, after the Mets weekly live streams or when we do the games together on that channel, I'm definitely going to be chopping those up, talking, posting them on this channel. So please subscribe. Let's try to get to 100 subscribers before the All-Star break. I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, guys, like I said, we'll try to do Luis Rojas interviews once a month, first episode every month. We'll try to get more interviews and stuff on. I appreciate you guys like always with this new kind of direction with the channel, doing a solo show, only Mets pretty much. I'm going to probably not do that many series recaps. I'm going to talk more about kind of the state of the team and what to do to get better. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.